Hello everyone. In this video we learn a story. Chapter 1: The Art of Making Jalebis. It happened many years ago. I was in the 5th standard at the government school, Kumbelpur. One day, I went to school with 4 rupees in my pocket to pay the school fees. When I got there I found that the teacher who collected the fee, Master Ghulam Muhammad, was on leave, and so the fees would be collected the next day. All through the day the 4 coins simply sat in my pocket, but once I was outside school, they began to speak. Alright, coins don't talk, they jingle, but that day they actually spoke. 1 rupee said, "What are you thinking about? Those fresh hot jalebis are meant to be eaten. And money isn't for nothing. It is meant to be spent. Look here, misguide me or it won't be good for you. Besides, you are my school fees. So, it's best you let me go home straight." The rupee disliked what I'd said. All of them began to speak at the same time. "We are trying to tell you something for your own good. Don't you feel like eating those hot jalebis? And, if you do end up spending us today, won't you get the scholarship money tomorrow? Sweets with the fees money. Fees with the scholarship money." End of story. My mouth watered, but I wasn't going to give in so easily. In school, I was among the most promising students. I had won a scholarship of 4 rupees a month. No, it wasn't right to stand in the middle of the bazaar and eat jalebis, I decided, and I went straight home. The rupees were so keen on being spent that day that when I reached home and sat on the bed, they began to speak. At lunch, they began to shriek. Thoroughly fed up, I rushed out of the house barefoot and ran towards the bazaar. I told the halwai to weigh a whole rupee worth of jalebis. He was astonished. Those were inexpensive times. 1 rupee fetched more than 20 rupees does nowadays. The halwai opened up a whole newspaper and heaped a pile of jalebis on it. I held the jalebis to my chest and ran into a narrow street. When I reached a safe corner, I began to devour the jalebis. Very quickly, boys from the entire neighborhood assembled in the street. By that time, I was so pleased with my stomach full of jalebis that I started handing out jalebis to the children around. I bought jalebis for the remaining 3 rupees as well and distributed them. Then I washed my hands and mouth at the roadside tap and returned home, as if I hadn't even seen the hint of a jalebi all my life. Jalebis I had gobbled up easily enough, but digesting them became another matter. At night, I had to eat my dinner as well. The result was that all night I lay, coiled up like a jalebi, suffering a stomachache. The next morning when I got to school, I found out that the scholarship was going to be paid the following month. My head started to spin. Master Ghulam Muhammad announced that the fees would be taken during the recess. When the recess bell rang, I tucked my bag under my arm and left school and simply walked on. I said to Al Amin, "Just this once pocket, and I promise I will use them only to pay my fees." Soon, I reached the point where the Kumbelpur railway station began. There was a shade-giving tree beside the tracks. I sat under it and wondered whether there could possibly be a more unfortunate child than me in this world. Had I known that I would get the scholarship only the next month, I would have postponed my jalebi eating program to the next month as well. Now, for the first time in my life, I was absent from school. Sitting there under the tree, at first I felt like crying. Thanks for watching.